Morning, parents. Just give people a chance to join in and the participants to start coming in before we start. So just bear with us for 1 minute. I do see that people are still coming in, but I think it's important that we're on time today. So I'm going to start. I expect that this webinar will take anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, but we'll be here for the full 30 minutes. And I'll give directions on how you can ask questions and how we'll try to get those answers to you. I'd just like to say good morning, and I'd like to say welcome to our second webinar. Before I begin, thank you for taking the time to join us today. I know that your time is precious, and I'm encouraged that you are here. Success for us has always relied on a strong partnership between teachers, students, and parents. I'm going to start a slideshow right now, but I just wanted a chance to say hello in person. We wanted to provide another webinar right now because we have some clarity on the fact that virtual school will continue for another 2 weeks. It is a good time to update you on what we know so far and what we are doing to make the experience better for you and for your children. Before I begin, I want to say that now is a humbling moment for all of us. The way that we want the world to work and the way that it does work is not always the same. We do not control any of this. We do, however, control how we respond. I am proud of this community and the way in which it has come together to support learning. We have seen increased attendance and participation across the board. I know that this is not possible without the support of our parent community. This is not an easy time for any of us. Our teachers have responded admirably. I've never been so proud to work with a group of colleagues. They remain positive, they remain calm, and they continue to look for new ways to engage your children and to continue learning. As always, you can type questions in the Q&A. We have Ms. Ayaputh and Mr. Brenneman here to answer questions as they arise. They'll also bring to my attention any questions that arise that may require a more direct or a more personal response later on. So please feel free to share. Today, I would like to discuss 4 topics with you. 1, an anticipated timeline for return to our physical school. 2, new procedures for report cards. 3, just discussing the survey data that we send out and we have received. And 4, highlighting our new course registration process for middle school and high school. The first agenda item is anticipated timelines. I wish I had a clear picture of when this will end, but I don't. I want what you want, which is for this to be over. Unfortunately, what I want, it doesn't work that way. Life will return to normal or a new kind of normal, but it will take concerted effort and it will take time. How much time depends on so many factors. There are many reasons for great optimism here in South Korea, even as we see some of the tragedies that are happening around the world. We now have loved ones in many different countries all over the world who are affected. You have heard much talk in the news about flattening the curve, which is getting the number of cases to a manageable level. We cannot stop this pandemic, but the goal everywhere is to keep the number of instances tractable so that our medical systems can cope. In Korea, a combination of rapid testing and treatment, detailed contact tracing, and social distancing appears to have worked. If you compare this to, say, Italy, you can see the massive challenge that they are facing. There is a reason that around the world, people are talking about the Korean model. So that brings us back to when will we physically reopen BFS? The short answer is, as soon as it is safe to do so. There are several factors. First, we look carefully at local transmission of COVID-19 in our community. Next, we look at directions from the Korean CDC and the Ministry of Education. Finally, we consult with other foreign and international schools here in Korea to gain insight and feedback. Our goal is to get back to school as quickly and safely as possible. Right now, school is physically closed until Friday, April 3rd. April 1st is the latest that we will make the next determination. So while I appreciate that it's frustrating not to have an end date, please continue to be patient and know that as soon as we know, I will tell you. The second agenda item is report cards. Report cards are scheduled to go out on April 10th. We know that across the school, this presents a challenge due to potential disruptions of assessing learning and timelines that have had to change. Our solution is this. In middle and high school, we will move this semester to a semester's grade-based grade. This will allow us to reflect on student learning more accurately while providing flexibility on assignment due dates. On April 10th, we will be emailing out a full progress report to all parents in the middle and high school. Teachers will not provide comments, but otherwise we will receive the grades in every class, as well as attendance data. On April 10th, you will receive as accurate an assessment as possible of learning at this time. In the elementary school, we will send home report cards, but teachers will not provide a narrative comment. We will create a single comment to be used by all elementary teachers. It will read along the lines of, due to the disruption of face-to-face learning while the school has been physically closed, BFS will be unable to provide individual narrative comments this quarter. We will be providing full narrative comments during quarter 4. These will also be emailed to you on April 10th. We hope you understand that we make these changes to provide the most accurate assessment of learning possible during this time. For the third item on the agenda, now that we know that we will be in this for at least 2 more weeks, I want to be clear about why we chose the models that we chose for virtual schools. We consulted with schools throughout the world and prepared for this extensively. There are various models that we could have chosen, but they all came with disadvantages and other challenges. We specifically chose our models based on the following: higher levels of student engagement, student learning, and a sense of routine and normalcy for when we return. This looks a little different in our various divisions. In early childhood and elementary, it looks different because it requires a different level of parental engagement and support. They have provided activities that completed on different schedules, as well as one-on-one check-ins via individual chats and group contact through scheduled meetings with students. In middle and high school, we've been conducting classes on our schedule via Zoom. Now, we've been carefully checking our surveys, and we can take a look at some of the statistics we have now as a school. You can reference the infographic later on the virtual school section of our website, which gives an accurate summary of where we see those right now. What we do know is that attendance and engagement is high. In fact, our attendance is better than when we normally have physical school. We also know that we are logging in a 6-day period something in the neighborhood of 335 Zoom meetings, 180,000 Zoom meeting minutes, and have distributed meetings to over 10,000 participants. In Seesaw and Blooms, we know that we have just slightly over, in the same period, 3,000 items that have been posted by either teachers or students, over 1,300 comments, and close to 200 parent visits. We know the satisfaction in the difficult circumstances has been high with the parents, and we have tried wherever possible to address dissatisfaction. The challenge we have today is to build or maintain our success in student learning while lessening some of the undesirable side effects. For students, we have been worried about and monitoring excessive screen time and sitting, which leads to low energy. I just want to let you know what we've done so far as a school. We had 2 challenges in the middle school and high school to get teachers and students up to move: the 7-minute challenge and the BFS dance challenge. The BFS dance challenge is still ongoing, and please encourage your children to participate. We've asked teachers to put in stretch breaks for students. We've been posting health and wellness tips for parents, students, and teachers on our website. And once again, we've allowed feedback from our surveys to provide extra support where it's needed in the surveys. I'll be getting to the surveys at the end, but we do listen to them, and if you need help, we are here to help. So for the next steps, in early childhood and elementary, teachers have been sharing ideas amongst one another of what they have had students do to work offline and other activities that they could have students do offline while still being in their apartments. We know that we want to limit the amount of screen time where possible, while recognizing that students have to access content through their screens. We're right now also trying to work out the logistics of getting books physically into our students' hands in the elementary, and some classes such as ELA in the middle schools and high schools. We'll be sending out that information as soon as we can see the scope of what we are trying to do. We think reading is extremely important for student learning. We think that physical books play an important role, and we will be working on that. In the middle school or high school, we've discussed with teachers the following. We make Wednesdays a day that does not require students to be in the class. Instead, teachers will be able to provide support to students as needed. It is not a day off for students. I want to be clear on that. But we are calling this Catch-Up Wednesdays. It will help to lessen a little bit of the new load on students while providing time for them to do their homework. So, for example, the teacher can request to talk with students who need support, or for students to request to talk to teachers where they might need support in smaller settings. Teachers are available during their regular class time for students who have questions that they may not feel comfortable asking in the large group setting or not always possible through Zoom. Sometimes students have to do makeup tests or assessments, and that can be done during this time on Catch-Up Wednesdays as well. Otherwise, students can work independently to catch up on homework and not be required to be in class. Now, I said this isn't a day off, so students will need to check in with their first period teacher for attendance on Check-Up Wednesdays. That is, they need to log on in their Zoom first period to let the teacher know that they will be there. For the rest of the day, we would mark all students as having attended unless the teacher has requested that they come, and they do not. We are hoping that this may ease some of the pressures on time and homework while still providing support and targeted instruction to students who need it. We also acknowledge that different subjects and different grades are not able to do this. I'm thinking specifically about a lot of our AP classes in senior English, which are already managing their workload, but need to meet with students regularly in order to keep up with the difficult content in the classes. If classes need to meet with students for the whole period, they will email those students in those classes directly. I will be sending out an email before noon today to the students explaining exactly what is expected of them from Catch-Up Wednesdays. Again, we're hoping that this eases some of the pressure, some of the time, and allows students to get targeted support. Finally, I just want to let you know about course registration for middle school and high school students is still planned to begin on Wednesday, April 8th. Obviously, our hope is that we can give directions to students in person, but since registration has been done online in the last 3 years, we will proceed as normal. Next Tuesday, we'll send out all course schedules and descriptions to students so that they and you have some time to look over what are appropriate courses for registration for next year. On Wednesday, April 8th, we will hold a course information fair if we are here at school in person. Otherwise, we will host a webinar for students. On Wednesday, April 8th through Monday, April 13th, course registration will be open for students, and that's the time for them to do it. Monday, April 13th to Friday, May 1st, you will receive, as parents, what the students have registered in. And then you will give your approval for that. It gives us a chance to clean up any registration. And so by May, all middle school and high school students will be registered in the classes. This also will include 5th grade students. Information for 5th grade parents and students and 8th grade parents and students will be held in the last week of March, and we'll be sending out details to those specific grades. Before I go, I want you to know that we listen to your feedback and concerns. We will be having another survey going out this afternoon to all of our parents, all of our middle and high school students, and all of our teachers. Please complete the survey and encourage your middle or high schooler to do the same. I know that we've sent home 4 already, but it makes a difference. We cannot always make the changes you would like, but please know that we do listen and we give serious thought to your suggestion. Our goal is always to improve, and you can help us. I appreciate that you have taken the time to be here today. I know that you are busy, and I'm honored that you would take time out of your schedule to listen to what we are doing here at the school. These are challenging times, but they are also interesting times. I do want to share with you some great news. As of today, our senior high school class is just $50,000 short of having earned $1 million in merit-based scholarships to go to colleges and universities. That is scholarships based purely on their academic and activity record. This is an amazing amount of scholarship money for a school that produces one graduating class per year. It speaks to the strong partnership that teachers, students, and parents have forged here at BFS. We are an excellent school because of that partnership. It is my deepest wish that we see all students and parents here physically on April 6th. But I know that I do not control this situation. I do know that I am proud of who we are as a community and how we've responded. And I know that together we will create success in these challenging times. I finished my portion of the presentation a little faster than I would have thought. Just know that we are here to support you. I'm going to turn off my video, but we will remain on the chat for the next 10 to 15 minutes. If people have questions, concerns, please feel free to share them. And I wish you all the best. I know that these are anxious times, and I know that and I hope that you will be staying healthy, you will be staying connected, and you will continue to support your children as best as possible. Thank you.